Lay down, meow, 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 meow. I don't have the lyrics memorized yet, but we'll get there.
I don't know any song lyrics.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy how much you don't listen to music.
Well, that makes me sound like a psycho.
You're the one who said it.
No, when you outed me at a live show and you were like, I was driving with Morgan and Justin today and they don't listen to music in the car. And like there was an actual like reaction from the crowd. And I was like, okay, we're not weird. We're not weird. We're just working in the car.
Yeah.
So like you can't edit and listen to music. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
But it's not just that though, but you said that you don't have like a Spotify subscription or anything.
I don't have Spotify Premium, so I get a lot of ads when I listen to music and I can't like pick specific songs. Spotify they haven't hooked me up with that. Oh man.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even, for some reason I wasn't even putting it together. When I think about Spotify podcasts and music, I just really separate them in my head.
Yeah.
But they're all right there. They're all
right there.
They're all on the same
intertwined.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and Apple hasn't come at me yet either with an Apple Premium thing, whatever they do over there. So, you know. The ads they're nice. I learned about BMO today.
Yeah, it's like if you want people to listen to ads on this podcast, then you got to listen to ads elsewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my ads I try to make funny.
Oh, actually, speaking of, do you know what I'm wearing?
Skims.
Yes.
I know, it looks really cute.
It's it's the cotton one and like look at the stretch. I know.
I was going to ask you where you got it actually.
I actually worked out in it, so I shouldn't be wearing it right now, but it's so comfortable.
It's so cute. Okay, are we ready for today?
Barely.
Barely?
No, I'm ready.
I'm really excited. This is like, we haven't done an episode what feels like a while, like just me and you.
I was thinking that.
And we're off to Nashville in like 2 days. And then we have like the last couple shows. Like we're halfway done with the tour. It's so sad. I don't know. It feels weird. I love it. But today's theme, can't you just be normal? Come on.
I like this.
Can't you just be normal?
This is a good title.
There's a lot of juicy ones. A lot I have not read at all, but based on the title, I was like, okay, it fits. Some could be like mental health related. I don't know. I haven't read a lot of these today. I'm going in a little blind.
Okay.
So it's just kind of meant to be a fun theme. Like, dude, can't you just be normal? Like, why are you being so weird? Weird. Yeah, I don't know. I've been dealing with a lot of weird people lately. And so this theme came about and we're going to see what we encounter today.
Okay. I'm into it.
Okay, let's dive in.
Well, let's do it.
Okay, so our first one is 14 hours old, coming from Am I the Asshole?
Ooh.
Titled, Am I the Asshole for being rude to my boyfriend after he withheld the salt from me? My female 27, boyfriend, male 30, are currently on vacation with his family. I have volunteered to cook most nights because I love to cook and I am the best at it out of the entire group. This evening, I was making a dish for everyone and asked my boyfriend to please get me an array of seasonings for this specific dish: MSG, soy sauce, pepper, and salt. He then said, if you're using MSG, do you really need salt? To which I explained that MSG is not salty, has 1/3 of sodium content to regular salt, and that dishes, if they're using MSG, will still typically require salt. I was cooking outside on a griddle and the dish comes together quickly, so I was not able to go back to grab any additional seasonings. I realized shortly afterwards that he did not include salt, just 3 out of the 4 things I requested. When asked, he said we didn't need it. I tried the food, it was bland. So he then proceeded to put an additional soy sauce, which it did not need. It needed fucking salt. Either way, I was defeated and needed to take it off, so I served it as is without salt. Everyone, upon being served, said it needed salt and proceeded to salt their own dishes. My boyfriend stood by his decision and doubled down on his argument that you can't remove salt, but you can add it, and that he preferred how it tasted as is. I was fuming. because he has done this in the past and says I occasionally overseason/oversalt food. However, it does not happen regularly enough to be an issue. Occasionally accidental. I do 90% of the cooking at home and he loves my food. We argued about it and he stood his ground that he prefers his food less salty and that if I salted it, that he would have been shit out of luck and not been able to eat any of it. However, the amount of salt it required was not enough to be overly salted, and that I know for a fact the amount of salt I would have used, he would have happily eaten it. I told him his behavior felt controlling, and he hit me with I could have grabbed more salt myself. But again, this dish, if I stepped away, would have burned very quickly. Am I the asshole for being angry and calling my boyfriend controlling for not just getting me the salt when I asked for it initially?
Either this guy has his taste buds that are just like out of control, where he tastes everything just more than the rest of us do, or he has villainized salt. Like, I don't know what's going on here.
I'm gonna out myself right now.
What? Do it.
I don't add salt in any of my dishes.
Really?
No, I pepper the fuck. I'll add paprika.
But is that because
thyme, basil, you name it.
Are your taste buds just like on one, or is it because you have villainized salt?
I personally feel villainized. I feel like my sodium intake is already so bad from like you eat chips, there's salt. Yeah. You do soy sauce, there's sodium in soy sauce. Like there's so many things that salt is in. So I always am like, I'm getting way too much sodium as it is. Like
I get that. It's funny. And that's why I asked, because like I went through a period of time in my life where I did villainize salt. I didn't want it on anything. I was just like, no, salt, bad. Just no salt. My sister would just dump it on anything she would eat. It would be like a piece of chicken. Just continue to salt it.
Oh.
Yeah. And then something happened one day and I decided to let go of this.
What did you put it on that first piqued your interest in salt again?
That's not it. When I was working at ADP, I was signing up a guy on payroll who had this really incredible vegan cafe. Ooh. And he made everything so natural. He was showing me how he makes all of their almond milk and everything that he does. And anyway, he made a comment about salt. And I was like, oh, isn't salt bad for you? He goes, no, salt is so good for you. You got to get the right type of salt. And he showed me the salt
Himalayan pink salt?
Yeah, that he showed me the salt that he uses. And then from then on, I was like, I'd rather believe that it's good for you. So I'm just going to throw it on anytime I want to. And
there you go.
It's no longer going to be a villain to me.
I will say salt, a little bit of salt with like a decent amount of pepper in scrambled eggs does.
I was literally going to say that. Like,
does taste really good.
Yeah. Or like a little bit of salt on top of your avocado or tomatoes makes it pop.
Okay. This is so niche, but if you go to Iceland, and they probably have it other places, they have this lava salt. Oh my God. Insane.
Really?
So I do like salt, but then when I'm cooking, like, I don't know, like the other night I made like P.F. Chang's homemade lettuce wraps.
Yeah.
I'm not going to add a lot of salt in that because there's already stuff.
Yeah, there's so much sodium and everything. So no, I completely get that.
This is just so weird to me.
It is weird. Like, back to the story.
Are you guys like, are you serious? Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, could he have grabbed it after you asked him? Yes. Like, you're doing a huge favor and cooking. But at the same time, it's not that difficult for people to just salt their food. And then they get to pick what they want. But I do know that cooking with the salt changes the flavor a little bit versus just sprinkling.
Yeah. People who are chefs and bakers are probably listening to this just screaming.
We do have a lot of bakers that we're with them in the morning as they're baking.
Yeah. Because sometimes when you're baking stuff, you have to add just a dash of salt. It's not like it tastes salty. It just...
I feel like there's a lot of chemical reactions in baking and cooking that I don't understand.
Me too.
But I watched lessons in chemistry.
I still need to watch that.
Unreal.
I'm debating if I should read the book now that I'm getting on it with reading again.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I...
Just watch it.
Yeah.
It's so good. They're different. They're also very different.
Okay.
Top comment. Of course your boyfriend should be able to control the amount of salt or other ingredients in a dish when he's cooking. His actions do sound controlling and also rude and ungrateful.
Yeah.
Sounds like it might be time for him to put on the chef's hat and gain some perspective or gratitude, not the asshole. Next comment, not only controlling, but completely unreasonable. Everyone had to salt their food and he still dug his heels in and fought about how he was right. This is not someone you can have constructive conversations with. Well, of course he's going to say it was better without any salt because he doesn't want to look stupid. So many people are like that. Just admit you're wrong. It's okay. It's not going to kill you. It needed salt. Enough said. Okay, moving along. Okay, one more food one before we move along. This is 13 hours old, coming from AITAH. Am I the asshole for eating noodles with my hand after my wife's friend scoffed at me for using a fork? My wife's friend is back from abroad, and their group decided to get together to meet her. They were going to bring their spouses for this dinner, so wife asked me to join. She told me to behave, and I did. Her friend had a fake accent, which I didn't mock. She was a brand addict, showed off, and another typical foreign return. I didn't say anything to her. We had met at a Chinese restaurant where we often go. I asked the waiter to get me a fork, and he did. This is when I noticed her friend looking at me as if I committed some sin. When I started eating with the fork, she said to my wife that we could have gone to some other restaurants if there was a problem. She was trying to make fun of me for not being able to use chopsticks. So I put the fork aside and dug in with my hands. And everyone but my wife and friend on the table started laughing. I didn't think of it as more than a joke at the time. When we came home, my wife was visibly pissed. I asked her if I did anything, and she said I embarrassed her in front of her friend and her spouse. She now is not talking to me. Am I the asshole?
I mean, I thought that it was okay to eat with your hands in some of these situations. So what exactly was he grabbing? Because I was told that actually, if I didn't want to use my chopsticks to use sushi, that using my hand was just as
like kosher?
Yeah, just as
good.
appropriate.
Yeah. I think it depends on the culture. But I'm not sure. Like, this is a Chinese restaurant he mentioned. So you typically assume chopsticks, but I don't think anyone would shame you for a fork. Maybe. I remember we were in China and we ordered noodles and like we actually didn't get chopsticks or a fork. It was only a spoon, which was new for us. So I think it just depends on the culture, but there's not a lot of context here. It doesn't really mention where they are, what background he is. But I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, I wouldn't shame someone for not being able to use a utensil. Like he's there trying, he's participating in your group. What if he had a disability where he doesn't have that fine motor? I don't know. I just feel like there's so many other things in life where it's like, just fucking be normal and mind your own business at the table.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
I actually, when we were in China, there were chopsticks, but that's when I learned how to use chopsticks.
Really?
Yes, because I felt so pressured because they were laughing at us.
At the restaurant with the ramen? Just the bowl with the big spoon?
Everywhere we went, like we didn't
have a warm welcome.
We didn't know if they were laughing at us or like with us. Not that we were laughing.
No, we also we were only in the Shanghai airport because they really threatened us that we couldn't leave because they just changed their visa program.
They didn't threaten us. They were threatening the person in front of us when we were considering leaving, and the guy was freaking out, remember? Because he had a crazy layover and he did it specifically
but we did too. And they were like, I don't know if you, like, they literally implied like you will be, it won't be good if you leave the airport.
Yeah.
And so we were like, well, we're not doing that. So we are only in the airport, but we did try to order some food and the people actually hated our guts, I think.
It's hard to know, but I felt...
Lauren, they were so mean to us.
I don't know. I really don't know because no one said anything directly aggressive, but it felt like they were laughing at us. And so
I'm talking about the waffle place where we like asked, we were like, hey, do you have any chopsticks so we can eat this? And they like didn't talk to us.
I think we might have asked for a fork and then they laughed at us.
No, we asked for chopsticks first. I actually think I said utensils.
Okay. Well, Anyway, I just remember I felt really nervous. And I remember I'm like, I'm going to learn how to use chopsticks now because I got to learn.
It's time to learn. Chopsticks. I think they're so fun.
And I'm still not very good at it, but that fight or flight moment helped me learn.
There you go.
And I'm better. But anyway, I agree with you. I don't think that if you don't grow up learning how to eat a certain way or have a certain accent, like it's nice to try when you're in a place that that's how they do speak or that's how they do.
like participate and appreciate the culture.
It's nice to try, but it's like if it doesn't come natural to you and your hand is cramping up and you're really struggling with it and you're just not getting the food in your mouth, then I think people should be able to use a utensil that they know how to.
They can actually eat with,
yeah. But also his reaction to it was a little extreme. But the fact that everybody else laughed, then it's at least he had a mostly audience that thought it was funny. But it's like, did he put was it a shared plate? And he put his hand in
I didn't even think
noodles?
About that.
I mean, what was the deal?
What was the situation with that?
Because that would be disrespectful.
But she was like, this friend was kind of disrespectful from the jump. Like basically saying like, we could have gone somewhere else if there was going to be a problem.
Yeah. No,
basically
100%.
implying like your husband's, he shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like he can't use chopsticks. He shouldn't be able to eat here. Like we should leave.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest, that is the type of friend, if I were to be in that situation, that is the type of friend that I would question, is this the friend I want? And if my husband did that, I would laugh and be like, I'm glad that my husband has a sense of humor instead of stomping off and being like, your friend's a pretentious bitch. Look at me.
Lauren can spell. Yay, Lauren.
I told you I'm trying to turn the swearing down.
Oh my God, that's so nice for all of you listening with kids in your car or house. So top comment, I use a fork to eat noodles because at only 30, I started losing control of my fine motor function. And now I cannot use chopsticks, even though I know how and would like to. Pretty hilarious, right?
Wow.
This is why
that changes things.
My brain, this is the top comment, not OP.
Oh, got it.
But it just like, this is where my brain went because of OT school. Like you never know what people are dealing with. And I think about someone who like maybe was diagnosed with MS or Parkinson's and they're starting to lose control of their fine motor or, and it's like,
can you imagine how painful that would be for...
I mean, this person is telling us right here.
Yeah. Can you imagine if that was the case, how painful that would be? And he's like, oh, you want to go somewhere else because I'm having a hard time holding chopsticks, like because of a medical condition.
They go on to say,
mind your own business.
Yes. They go on to say, I visited China and every place I ate, I was embarrassed to be that tourist who would only eat with a fork. When I came back, I told an old friend of mine this. She reminded me of when we were 17 and having a formal sit-down meal for our school graduation. She was born in Australia, like me, but is from South Asian background. She came to me very embarrassed and asked me to teach her how to hold a knife and fork properly.
Aww.
She was so afraid of being embarrassed because they just didn't use them in her family. Very occasionally a fork, and she knew how to butter bread, but not putting the two utensils together for a fancy, good-mannered dinner. I didn't judge her, and she was very stern with me about judging myself. She's a delightful, soft-spoken sunshine pixie, but I reckon she'd put your wife's friend in a fucking headlock.
I love that comment. That is so precious.
That is really, really precious. I can't use chopsticks for the same reason. I was 39 when mine started. Just wanted to let you know that you aren't alone.
I really feel like I'm getting carpal tunnel in my hand.
I have carpal tunnel.
It gets, I don't know how to explain it when I grab things sometimes.
Your grip strength goes down. It's really, really frustrating. Really frustrating. Someone else comments, 35 checking in. I'm in my mid-40s now, but was 35 when it started. I used to use chopsticks to pick up messy snacks like wasabi peas or cheese puffs. Now there's no way I can use them. It's a good day when I can hold my coffee mug.
Oh,
This is why you shut your fucking mouth and don't judge people. Like,
Absolutely.
Ugh. Be fucking normal. This is sad and also really makes me miss OT. But I can happily say I am officially a licensed and registered OT for another 2 years, baby.
Oh, yay.
I did my continuing education credits.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was going to keep it. And then I started like getting really, really sad that I wasn't planning on it because I don't use it right now. But I did it. I took a lot of really cool, interesting classes and I'm still an OT.
That's amazing.
Yeah. My little proud plug right now.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any comments from OP in the top replies.
Like I said, the only way that I think that he would be really rude
if it was a community bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that until you said it. That's such a good question. Because then it's kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
Did you know that like you encounter, I just read the quote to someone, to like, I think Chris Olsen when he was on an episode, but on average, you touch like 10 dicks a day. Yeah, literally from people not washing their hands and like touching a doorknob after they touch their dick. So on average, you encounter like 10 dicks a day.
I shook so many hands yesterday. So many dicks.
So many dicks.
It's okay.
It's fine. Okay, moving along. So this next one is coming from AITAH, 11 hours old. It is titled, Am I the Asshole for Faking My Giving Birth? I'll keep this as short as possible. I, 25 female, am pregnant with the baby due in a couple of days. My husband, 25 male, promised that he would be the one to drive me to the hospital and that he will be glued to the phone until birth. He works only 10 minutes from our home and his boss agreed to let him go when the birth happens. The problem is my mother-in-law. My husband and her have an unhealthy, in my opinion, strong bond, and she is overly involved in our relationship, which has caused many issues in the past. She requires his attention every day. She has suggested moving in with us ever since I became pregnant. She also has emergencies whenever we have anniversaries, important occasions like my birthday, etc. As the date is approaching, I became increasingly worried that his mother will have an emergency during birth and I will have trouble getting to the hospital or will be forced to be alone during it. I voiced my concerns and it caused fights between me and them. I even suggested asking...
Whoa, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry, go on.
I even suggested asking my best friend to drive me and keep me company, as I'm scared of giving birth, but it was shot down with, quote, how can't you trust your own husband? So I'm not proud of it, but I faked giving birth yesterday. I called my hubby at work, told him it started. He said he will be right there. After half an hour, I called him to ask where he was, and he didn't answer. After almost an hour, he called me to say he is at the hospital with his mom because, guess what? She is having a medical emergency.
Oh my God. No way. I can't believe this. This is, wow. I just like lost my breath.
Apparently, he called her to tell her I'm giving birth, and she got, quote, a heart attack from excitement.
Oh my God.
He said he will have to miss my birth and actually asked me to call my friend to drive me and stay with me. ...
Didn't this ring any alarms? I can't believe that they had fights about this beforehand, prior. Not just her and her husband, them, all of them together, she said. That's when I gasped. She said, it's caused fights between all of us. So she acknowledged, hey, mother-in-law, you literally keep pretending to have emergencies when important events come up. Don't do that for my birth. How could you say that?
Just wait.
Okay, sorry.
Just wait.
I'm sorry. This one's just hard for me not to cut it in. You can cut it and keep going. Sorry.
It's staying in. I admit I was very angry and heartbroken. So I told him I wasn't actually giving birth and that it was a test that showed me how he would actually behave versus what he said he would do, and that it proved he would always care for his mother more than his own wife, who was carrying his child. He was very angry and even blamed me for his mother's heart attack in the moment.
Stop.
His mom, of course, didn't have a heart attack, but a, quote, false alarm.
Oh, shocking.
I felt very justified, but now that we have talked, I feel really guilty. He said he feels manipulated and gaslighted.
From your mother, honey.
That just because his mother lied about the emergency doesn't mean I should lie to him.
Why not?
What the fuck? He said that marriage is built on trust, so I have to trust him instead of lying to him to prove a point. He even said that he didn't choose his mother over me, but chose a bigger emergency and that he knew I could handle getting to the hospital. But his mother needed him more and that a heart attack is more serious. I pointed out she lied, but he said he couldn't have known that and that I was, quote, just as bad for lying. I feel like I'm going crazy. Am I the asshole?
No. It's interesting though, because I'm like, yes, it is true. One lie doesn't mean that you should do another lie. But at the same time, it was literally to prove a point, to make it clear as day that this is what's going on. And yet, if he still is not comprehending that this is something that his mother does, that's a huge problem. And I'm glad that it was a false alarm, because I was going to feel like a huge asshole if it ended up being actually serious this time.
Of course it's a false alarm.
Well, you never know.
No chance.
But like with this story, yeah. But I
didn't read this one before.
Really?
And it's so hard when like I haven't read it and I'm just as like fuming as you. But if I reacted the whole time like you did, I would ruin it for everyone listening. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, this dude, I want to just hit him with one of those like battery operated kid cars. Like I just want to run him over multiple times. Like, what are you not getting? I would really, I know like, obviously, we go back and forth on this, like ultimatum versus boundary. What's the difference? For me, if this were my husband, I would be at my wit's end. You continuously let your mother ruin our anniversary, my birthday, things that are really important. Mm-hmm. I would be done. I would say, you know what? This has shown us that something's going to come up.
Yeah.
I didn't want to lie to you, but I don't feel safe and supported in this relationship.
Yeah.
The deal is we do not tell your mom I'm going into labor. I call you, you come home and get me.
Yep.
We go to the hospital.
Yep.
And once everything is done, then you can call your mom.
Yep.
That's how this is going to go down. She has proven that she gets too excited. We got to be careful on her poor little heart. So after the baby is born, and we have that intimate moment, just me and you, then your mom can come to the hospital. And if that is an issue, then your best friend's showing up for you and you better get some divorce papers going.
Honestly.
Like this is so unhealthy.
Yeah.
I'm so frustrated for her.
I know. This I didn't expect to have such a flaming story right away.
Why can't you just be normal?
Oh my gosh. It's just... hold on. I need a second to gather my thoughts. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know.
It's just like sad, frustrating.
It is sad. How does he not see it too? How does he not get it? And what I would say though is that if I was in the situation and if my partner's mother was actually having a heart attack, I would say, go there. Like go there instead. Come here when you can. But that is an emergency. And obviously childbirth can also end poorly. So it's like, get over here as soon as possible because you don't know what's going to happen. It also is a major...
It's a major thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why he thinks this is like a walk in the park.
No.
Hey, go do it on your own. I guess your friend's going to have to hold your hand.
Yeah.
This is your baby too.
Mm-hmm. And obviously the beautiful aspect of it, of course. But I'm saying that even outside of loving this child and being there for the birth, it still is just like, you don't know what's going to happen. And so be there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And so even if, if my partner's mom was having a heart attack, I would say, go do that. Get here as soon as you can. Like, I hope everything goes all right.
But it's her track record, right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is a different scenario because...
What I also think is kind of interesting is that he didn't answer her when he called back, when he didn't show up after 30 minutes. After almost an hour, he called me to say he was at the hospital. And then he says something else that like really just got me boiling. He said, my friend is going to have to drive me and stay with me. Your mom, if she's having a heart attack, you get her to the hospital.
Mhm.
She goes into the emergency room. Like, heart attacks are very, depending on what kind, like, she could be going into like the ICU where like no one can even be. Like, it could be that desperate.
Mhm.
She could need to like have immediate surgery. So it's like, you can get your mom safely to the hospital, make sure she's there, but then go join your wife. Like, you don't need to, and some people are going to call me insensitive, but the reality is like, she's safe. She's medically provided for. You also have someone who you should be supporting and caring for.
Yeah.
It just like, it really,
it would be really tough if this was a real scenario.
yeah.
Because if it was my mom in the hospital, then I would want to stay there with her, and make sure she's okay, but then also be there for the birth of my child. Ironically, that would be hard to do both, as I would be the one giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing my boyfriend giving birth to our child.
I wish dudes could
I
have
know,
babies.
me too.
Justin said he would do it. I was like, would you, if you could get pregnant? And he was like, immediately, yeah. He's like, I would just like want to carry one, and then like maybe you could carry the next one.
Yeah, Brian said no when I asked him this, but then when I pushed him on it, he said yes. So I don't know if he just didn't want to get in trouble or if he actually thought it through and was like, no, you're right. That's fair.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's so funny to picture him pregnant.
I'm literally strapping a watermelon to Justin. He's going to have to deal with it with me.
Oh yeah, no, my partner's not going to drink or not drink a lot. No.
I like how that's your biggest concern.
Well, can you imagine how annoying that would be if you're sitting at home and you're having whatever you're doing, your morning sickness, and then he's out like getting blacked out at a happy hour?
No,
absolutely not.
So you're sleeping on the couch, dude.
Yeah, like
also,
you can have drinks, but don't go and get messed up while I'm in pain. Like, this is your baby too, and I'm doing the hard work.
Your Minnesota accent came out so strong. I loved it.
Oh no,
home. It was so good. Top comment on this one. If my mother was for real having a heart attack when my wife went into labor, she would either lie to me so that I would not go to her, or she would insist that I be with my wife. Your mother-in-law is bonkers, and your husband is a jerk for putting her first. Bigger emergency, air quotes. Is he a cardiologist or an EMT? If not, what the hell is he going to do for her? Thank you. I felt a little insensitive. I did feel like a little bit of a devil saying like, she's medically cared for. Okay, leave her ass. Someone gets it. Someone gets me. I feel seen.
I think that in those moments, though, even if my mom said go, I would be the one that would want to stay with her. That would have a hard time leaving her. But if I was having a baby at the exact same time, then I would be like, okay, I also do have to go, but I want to make sure you're good.
She's going to get hooked up to a nitro drip. They're going to sort it out. She's going to be good. Next comment down. Plus, he didn't call OP and let her know that he was going to the hospital with mom. So OP could then get someone to take her to the hospital. He left his wife, who he thought was going into labor, hanging with no idea that she was on her own. And that's what I was trying to point out. Mm-hmm. That pissed me off.
That is messed up.
He's 10 minutes away from home based on where he works. And after 30 minutes, she calls again, like, where are you?
Oh my God.
Another 30 minutes goes by. So it's like, did he get in a car accident? What's happening? It was an extra 50 minutes. And that's precious time that she could be using to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I get birth isn't like, the movies. It's not your water breaks and you're immediately going, it takes some time.
But that's when the contractions start and you're in pain.
It's the lack of consideration for me.
Right.
It's the lack of awareness. Yeah, contractions start after your water breaks typically. But like labor can take sometimes like 24 hours, 36 hours. Like it can take a minute. And then there's some people that like give birth on the way to the hospital. You don't know. It's just the lack of consideration and respect for the woman who is supposed to be his life partner, who is giving birth to his child. Call her.
It's awful.
I called my mom, told her you were going to birth, and she's having a heart attack. So I got to go over there. I got to make sure she's good. can't you drive and talk on the phone?
Mm-hmm.
Cars have Bluetooth. There's speakerphone. Hands-free, baby. We don't text and drive. We don't call and hold the phone to our head. Safe driving only. Here's a check-in for my car, people. How's your drive going? But you know what I mean? It's
it's absolutely
inconsiderate.
It's absolutely insane. It's so inconsiderate. There's no question that this guy is an absolute asshole in the situation. And I think that OP, and normally I wouldn't say, yeah, go ahead and lie and fake your birth when you read the title. But with all this being said and done,
I kind of like it.
I think it's the best way to kind of figure out what you're dealing with and prove your point. And yeah, and you really proved your point. So I'm down for it. And if he truly doesn't see through what his mom is doing, and he truly is so worried that his mom might pass away, then I'm giving him a little bit of grace of like his desperation and concern, but be fucking better. Come on. How do you not see through your mom? Like that's insane.
Mm-hmm. So we do have some edits. Just because I don't want to be misunderstood. I did what I did because I am terrified to give birth alone. My friend would have to ask for a day off in advance, so she'd have to know that she is needed before I actually get contractions. Oh, fuck.
What?
My mom died in childbirth, and I don't want to be alone during the scariest moment of my life.
Wow.
I hate this man.
Me too.
So much. So much more. I already hated him. I already wanted to hit him with a car. Not the plastic kind. I changed my mind.
Oh.
That's too much.
No, that makes me want to cry. Wow.
Because like when you think about childbirth, like for me, the person I want there is like Justin and my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And like
same.
This person is pregnant.
My partner, my mom.
Morgan, your mom's coming. And Justin, sorry. I'd be like, wait, what? Yeah. Is my life hereditary? No. But it's just really sad because it's like, this is very traumatic for her. She grew up without her birth mom.
Yeah.
Because she died. Like, what a fucking insensitive asshole.
Truly. And that's what I was saying. I was saying even if wife is okay with, this is an incredibly special moment and it will be heartbreaking that you miss it. But if your mom is in a lot of danger, help her out and get here as soon as you can. If it was something like that, if this was a situation in a normal sense, clearly this isn't normal, but if it was a normal sense, then that would make more sense to me because it's like that. This is also a potential emergency. You don't know what's going to happen in childbirth. It is scary. It's likely going to be fine, but there are chances of issues and you got to be there for your partner because it's scary. Yeah. And the fact that she has this past and he doesn't get it and he's just saying this is a bigger emergency and he knows this is such a real fear for his wife is so insensitive.
It's crazy. Even if I am the asshole, I think this gave me the push I needed to, quote, get my ducks in a row. And my friend already asked for a couple days off to be there when I need it. I'm just so scared. Edit 2. To answer a common question, why did you marry him? Wasn't he putting his mom first from the beginning? I suppose it is a fair question, but it was never that bad. Well, now it is so. But when we first started, it was lovely. His mother was barely a footnote in our relationship because we were at uni and far away. I suppose my greatest mistake was agreeing to move into his town versus moving into mine. I come from a town on the opposite side of the country. Our uni was in the middle, so to speak, and his mom, while nosy and controlling, was far away and very easy to write off. When we got married, we moved into his town for logistic reasons. He already had a job lined up in his town. I didn't. We have been living here for a year and a half, and it has gotten progressively worse until now. When he isn't in contact with her, he is a good partner. But when you add her into the equation, he becomes a different person. Even his friends see it and have asked me about it. Right now, I want to focus on my baby, but after birth, I think I will have to rethink our life together. Yeah. I just can't spend the rest of my life in a triad with his mother. Yeah. Also, I'm sorry for mostly not replying to anyone. I am emotionally exhausted.
She wrote this just recently, right?
13 hours ago.
Wow. So she might have update, just had the baby.
Oh, we need to all keep an eye on this one.
Yeah. Oh,
I just can't.
You should reach out and see if we can find like a P.O. box to send her little baby toys.
A little gift basket?
Wouldn't that be sweet?
That would be nice. Okay, sending a message now. Just sucks. I'm very frustrated.
Does it? I almost wonder if this story is making people question their partner's mom, if their relationship will change once they get married and move closer or something like that. Because it's interesting how OP mentions that it wasn't like this at all when they were dating until they moved to the town that he's from.
I'm very shocked he even moved so far away for school, given their relationship.
Right.
Because it definitely sounds like they're enmeshed.
Yeah.
But I think it does
which is probably why he can't see through it.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about because if Justin and me moved back to Minnesota, would his mom be popping over all the time unannounced? Would my mom be popping over all the time unannounced? That's kind of a culture in my family is I'm home in Minnesota and everyone just pops over to the farm and we hang out and we have afternoon coffee together or bake. My family is very close.
That was Minnesotan.
Bake.
Bake.
And so I'm I just don't know what my life would look like if I was in close proximity to family and if I would have healthy boundaries. I feel like I would. I feel like I would have no problem being able to set boundaries and be hey, I know I live here again. I love you guys, but make sure you call before coming over. I don't think I would have that problem, but it feels like it's beyond that. It feels like he's letting his mom sabotage every aspect.
Well, and that's what I'm wondering. So I know that you've talked about enmeshment on the show a lot, at least according to comments.
Yeah, I do love that word.
But I personally haven't been on too many episodes when you talk about it. I have been on episodes, but it's been a while. I also haven't looked it up on my own. I haven't really Googled it and done research on it. So my question to you, since it sounds like you're familiar with it, is do you think that is impacting this guy in the story from such a young age that it's almost become like a mental health disorder?
It depends on how enmeshed a family unit is based on what I've read. I'm obviously not a psychologist, but enmeshment can happen oftentimes for boys with single moms. And it almost is they're a surrogate partner. Something's wrong with the mom. She's having an emergency. She calls her son. The son steps in like a partner would. So it could create a lot of anxiety and guilt and all this stuff with him. There's an abundance of emotions, right? But it's not healthy. You lose your own autonomy with enmeshment. And it's something that I've had to deal with partners where they're unable to set boundaries with their family. And it physically makes them sick. It makes them sick and they cry and they're upset. And it's well, no matter what I do, you're upset or my family's upset and they can't make a decision either way. And it's well, look at what you're doing to yourself.
Yeah.
And I also think people don't realize if you set boundaries, yes, it is difficult at first, but the more you set boundaries and uphold them, the easier it gets.
Yeah.
Because people stop guilt tripping you. They know they're not going to get their way if they get manipulative or whatever. So if he were to set boundaries with his mom, I think a lot could improve.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard
the first step to change.
A lot of people don't even realize.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like he doesn't have the awareness to it. And that's what I'm wondering. Is he just plain dumb? Does he not get it? Is this literally a product of his upbringing that he's not understanding what's going on?
I don't know.
It sounds like maybe potentially all the above.
I know. Well, I'm looking at some of OP's comments too, just to give us a little more context. When I read my mom died in childbirth and I don't want to be alone during the scariest moment of my life, I assumed, my head just kind of envisioning a story, I guess, I assumed that her mom died during her birth. There's more insight into this. OP replies to someone and says, honestly, after reading this, it's like a retelling of my worst worries. I was terrified that he wouldn't answer / would run to his mother and I would be alone and then things would go wrong. My mom had no warning signs, but she died giving birth to my brother due to complications and bleeding. I was 7 and I still remember it as if it happened yesterday. I keep thinking, what if it was real labor and I kept waiting for him? What if that cost me too much time? What if I bled out alone? I know logically that my friend wouldn't leave me and would risk her job to come to the hospital, but that almost makes it worse. My friend is more willing to be my husband than my husband ever was.
Why do I want to cry?
It's really fucked up when she puts it that way.
Yeah. And you know what also gets me out of everything from this story is that if this man knows that his wife is worried that his mother is going to make up a fake emergency on the day of her birth, then why did you call her? Why did you do that? Go straight to the hospital or go straight to get your wife, go to the hospital.
That's what I'm saying.
Once she is like having the baby is literally coming. It's happening. It's being born. Then give your mom a call.
Take that golden hour after the baby is born, bond with your child, and literally don't tell her until after.
Yeah.
She's going to ruin this moment. And the fact that he doesn't see it is so concerning.
It's so concerning.
The fact that his friends has asked his wife, does he change around his mom? This is crazy. Is so baffling and concerning.
It's so sad. I hope that he finds this Reddit and reads the comments and gets help, honestly.
I know. I think OP should share it with him. Someone does ask, do you have a medical proxy set up and documented? Depending on where you live, setting up documentation so that there is someone you can trust authorized to make medical decisions for you if you're unable to and instead of your husband would be a good idea. And OP does respond to that and goes, unfortunately, I'm already looking into it as I can't find it in myself to trust my husband with medical decisions regarding my babies and my health. I wouldn't trust him.
No.
At all.
Not after this performance.
Well, and I think too, like I would be scared that it's like he's going to be so frantic, distressed, whatever. And he's going to be like, Mom, what do I do? And it's giving flashbacks to that one story where the mom said, I hope your mom dies to the little kids.
God.
Like, it's like, oh, well, obviously choose the baby. She would want you to choose the baby. Like, I don't trust either of them now anymore. I don't. I can't. Whew. I am not seeing any other posts from OP. No update yet. It's obviously very fresh. Let's all keep our eyes peeled for an update maybe after OP gives birth. I'll send a message, see if we could send like maybe a little like Amazon gift cards you could buy some baby stuff. I don't know. Sometimes feels weird. And I message people all the time. I said to one person, they had their birthday cake ruined. And I was like, can I buy you a cake? And they never responded. So a lot of times people don't message me back. But we'll keep our eyes peeled.
Okay,
moving along.
Okie dokie.
Okay, story number 4. This is 5 hours old. Titled, Am I the asshole for giving my husband an ultimatum and telling him I will leave him if he doesn't stop acting like he's God?
Fair.
My husband and I have been married for 4 years, and we have 2 children. When we first met, he told me he was an atheist. I didn't really care. I was born into a Catholic family, but never really practiced. So religion was never a part of our relationship. But over the past year or so, he has shifted. At first, it started with him saying he is questioning our existence, and that led to him believing that there may be a higher power. It ended with him believing he himself is actually God.
No. Oh, I thought this was like one of my exes who just acted like he had a God complex. Wow. This is juicy.
At first, I thought he was joking.
Yeah.
So I humored him a bit. But after months of it getting progressively worse and worse, I'm done with it. He built a small little room in our backyard in which he goes and prays to himself. He has said things like, quote, if it isn't true, then why do I believe it? It's gone from stupid to downright creepy and scary. He also has been looking into renting a building so he can open up a legitimate church. I find him oftentimes just sitting in silence, him saying he feels people praying to him, and that it's time for him to finally reach out and help those who need him. I told him enough is enough and that I am not going to deal with this. I said he must drop all of this shit immediately or I will leave him and take the kids. He seems to not understand and thinks I am just rebelling, but will find my light soon or something like that. Am I the asshole for threatening to leave him and take the kids?
What if he is God?
I don't know if he would have been atheist before, but you never know.
This is a different one.
I'm wondering if this is him having his first like psychosis episode. Like you can develop, like there's no ages mentioned, and like some people don't develop things like schizophrenia until they're 26. So what if this is him just having his like psychotic break?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's still an appropriate term, but you know what I mean? Like I'm wondering if this is like the first sign of his symptoms, or like my head goes down this rabbit hole of like, does he have a brain tumor? Because how do you go from completely normal atheist to all of a sudden, I am God, I want to buy a church, I can hear and feel people praying to me. This is like not normal.
This one has me a little bit speechless.
I'm like very perplexed. There's
Yeah,
no comments from OP yet either.
It's almost like he was so atheist that when he started to think maybe there is a God, he's like, well, why not it?
Why not me?
Why not me?
I am God.
I God.
I God now. What does he say here? If it isn't true, then why do I believe it? I believe unicorns are real. I don't have proof. Dragons definitely existed. Bigfoot exists.
Dragons were dinosaurs.
Probably.
That's where they came from.
Yeah.
But
how did people, they found the fossils?
They found the fossils and they thought
Damn
that there
it.
were dragons living in caves that were just waiting to come out and terrorize them. But it was actually just the fossils of dinosaurs. That's why the dinosaurs look
kind of
different.
ruining this for me.
Sorry.
I do believe in dragons too.
That's why dinosaurs look different in different cultures. So like the dragon in the Chinese culture looks different than like the dragon in English culture.
Did you learn this in your dinosaur class?
Probably.
God, that was worth it.
But it's because
Fuck.
those were most of the dinosaurs were in certain areas.
What do you think the weirdest thing you believe in is?
Huh.
Do you believe in aliens?
With that topic, I could be convinced.
I'm convinced.
It's one of those things where I'm like,
I'm so gullible.
it's one of those things where I don't see why there wouldn't be life form outside of the world when this universe is so huge, but we don't have anything concrete yet that I'm not.
What about all the UFOs that the government has now confirmed?
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying like I'm interested.
Okay.
But we don't have someone right here. We don't have an alien right in front of us. So I'm not going to go and like with a pitchfork like root for this cause, but
get your pitchforks and flames ready. We're going to bat for the aliens. Fuck.
Aliens exist.
My pitchfork ready?
I don't know, dude. I just sometimes things just come out of my mouth. Like, I don't know. But I'm just saying that I'm not like, I don't have this strong conviction. Pretty just open to the idea of possibilities of conspiracy theories being absolutely false or potentially true.
So JFK, you can't get on board with that one?
No, I think, wasn't that one actually ended up being confirmed?
That Lee Harvey Oswald couldn't have shot him?
Yeah. See, I don't know. I don't look too far into this stuff. I'm kind of.
Yeah. I got really into, there's a documentary on Netflix right now. It's called like the Maryland tapes. And the all the happenings around Marilyn Monroe's death are so sketchy.
Really?
And then there's like things where like her body disappeared for 3 hours and
oh my God.
she was dead a lot longer than they say. Crazy. And the documentary kind of gets into it. So I really don't believe she died of like an accidental purpose. But moving along, this next story I really wanted to read. And I've been talking to the OP in it. I've been emailing her back and forth now. And she said the next update she's going to drop on her personal accounts on Sunday, but she'll email it to me tomorrow morning. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to record it now. So I'm wondering if what we do is record it now, see your thoughts, and then like it is so juicy.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I'll either patch in the next update, just me reading it without Lauren, so we can like really get it in, have it in this episode because it's so juicy and there's going to be some conspiracy theories I have around it.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize you were leading us up to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was just a random side question you had.
No.
Okay.
So this next one is coming from a user named Juliet Pepperwood. Juliet is going to be continuously posting updates for this story on her IG. Juliet, as in like Romeo and Juliet, Pepperwood. Like it literally reminded me of the Pepperwood Chronicles from New Girl. I don't know if that's a connection for OP, but you will see why. You're going to want to go follow the IG. You're going to want to stay up to date because this is one of the craziest ones.
Really?
Okay, I'm giving it too much of a lead up. So it was originally posted on r/wedding shaming. The mods deleted it due to advertising because OP listed their copyright details in an attempt to like stop impersonators from like stealing the story, I guess. So the original post was titled Bride Made Profit on Bachelorette. Sister-in-law drama. So much tea. I'm glad I can spill to my Reddit community because I can't gossip about it to my family. So about 6 months ago, the bride planned her destination bachelorette trip and charged each of the 11 girls $650 for the Airbnb. I was salty about the high cost, but it's my sister-in-law, so I sucked it up and I paid her. I also was suspicious about the high as fuck price, so I did cross-check the Airbnb listing and it checked out. Yes, this bee wanted a $2,300 a night beachfront house. Well, today I'm chatting about wedding stuff with my brother, who is marrying my future sister-in-law. And he said something along the lines of, quote, what a relief her dad paid for the Airbnb because that would have been so expensive for your group.
Oh.
I about choked. I said, hey, are you sure about that? Because all 11 girls paid $650 for the house alone. Maybe run it by her. ... His face turned purple. So I take it he had no idea. To add to the greed going on here, when I got married, I flew her out, paid for her accommodations, paid for hair and makeup, paid for her bridesmaid's dress, and paid transportation because she was going through a hard time. Now she has the balls to steal from me? I get that weddings are expensive, but don't have one if it requires stealing from your bridesmaids. I'm assuming I'm the only bridesmaid who is aware of what's going on here. Not sure if I should spill to the group or just let it go. There's a chance her dad stepped in and paid for it after the fact, and she just chose not to refund us. I'm not clear on the exact situation, and I want to avoid embarrassing my brother. That's the original post. I'd be calling her ass out. I wouldn't hold back.
We talked about one like this once, but it was on a smaller scale. Do you remember? It was when we were in Canada. And the girl was saying that she had booked some type of getaway and all of her coworkers or friends paid her.
Yeah.
And it was much less though. It was like they paid her each like $80 or something.
Yeah, she essentially got like
she found out
a holiday fund from her work.
And she found out afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was asking if it would be rude not to refund them or if she should just keep it that way.
Yeah.
Because she's like, technically, like, I work there and the fund or the bonus is for me because I worked there.
Mm-hmm.
So she was kind of asking, would it be the asshole thing to do to just not tell them?
I think it is. Like $650 is a lot of money for just the Airbnb.
Yeah.
That's not including travel, restaurants, drinks, dinners, like whatever else the weekend or whatever celebrations includes. I would be really disheartened that my friend wasn't like honest with me.
Yeah.
It's at least like
completely agree. It's a lot of money to do, especially when you know up front, like she did.
It's slimy.
It's like if it was last minute, if she decided on this, everyone agreed to it. And then later on, her dad said, you know what, I'm going to refund you for the Airbnb for a wedding present. Maybe it'd be a little bit different. But the fact that she went into this being slimy is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
And even
if it was after the fact, you can like approach like $650 could be
it's a lot.
Half of someone's rent that they're struggling with, or maybe their whole rent, depending on where they live. Like you don't know. Yeah. And so it's like, at least give your friends, like these are your bridesmaids. These are supposed to be girls that are your friends.
Yeah.
You're essentially like lying by omission, kind of screwing over your friends.
Yeah.
I would be really, really pissed.
Yeah. Especially in situations like this where people want to go to support their friend on a big day and big moment. And so they don't want to, cut them short and be like, I'm not going to show up because I don't want to spend that much money. So they spend money painfully. That happens. If it was a trip where everybody wanted to go, they actively were like, let's all do this to get together and have a great time, then maybe it wouldn't be so painful. But the fact that, people are doing this literally to celebrate you, even if they don't want to go there, even if they don't want to pay that, because they want you to feel special on your day. So that's what really gets me. Like specifically, that is what really gets me.
Update number 1. Thanks for all of the advice and support. Yes, I agree with most of you who are saying I'm morally obligated to spill the beans because $650 is not child's play. This is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to talk to my brother and give him a chance to clear it up with sister-in-law. Before I make a scene, I want to understand what's really going on. For example, did daddy pay for the trip, but sister-in-law decided to put that towards a different wedding expense? Things like that. That answer will determine when/how I tell the rest of the bridesmaids. I'm going to give my brother only 1 to 2 days because this trip is literally next week. Stay tuned for update number 2.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm wondering. If it was like, hey, you know what? I don't want you to pay for that entire Airbnb. Like, let me pay for it, sweetie. And then she's like, actually, all of my bridesmaids already agreed to pay and they already paid me for it. And he goes, oh, well then take this amount of money and have it go to another wedding expense. Do you know what I mean? Like I would be curious to know the dynamic.
What the language is.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's smart though. Like, don't put the cart before the horse. Don't have like an emotional reaction because you're super upset. Because I would have like put it in a group chat and been like, hey, like just curious when we're getting refunded. I heard your dad paid for the Airbnb. I would have just like put it in the group chat, just slid that in there. But I don't know, I'm in chaos mode lately. Like I almost bought a horse online today without even seeing it. I didn't know you could buy horses online.
Oh my God.
That. Yeah, it's really cute.
But you didn't see it?
Nope. Well, I saw a picture of it. I didn't see it in person. When I tell you I'm in chaos mode, like I canceled the lease on this studio. No, like I didn't touch it in person. Like that, like I didn't see it. You know what I mean? But like I saw a picture. But what if it's photoshopped? I don't know. What if it's AI?
I thought you meant you were online looking at like horse descriptions, just without pictures. Just this is Freddie.
I wouldn't put it
Freddie
past
likes
me.
grass. Bot.
Dude, I'm unhinged lately. I'm going through something. I don't know what it is. Okay, so update number 2. Which is coming 3 days after update number 1. So update number 2 is from January 26, 2024. All right, so I regrouped with my brother. My mom also stepped in, bypassed my brother, and got some more info directly from her dad. All caps, here's the tea. Future sister-in-law's dad did not offer to cover the cost until a few months after we all paid for the trip. This was after he found out the cost and was pissed, that she chose a $2,300 a night house and then asked us to pay.
Oh.
Apparently, he threatened not to pay for the wedding if she added more expenses onto the wedding party. Turns out,
Wow.
she originally wanted
nice
it
of him.
in the Maldives, and he forbid her. According to my mom, who chatted with him directly, he felt embarrassed when he heard about the Airbnb price and wanted to save face with my side of the family. So he gave sister-in-law about $7,000 to cover the cost of the house. She was supposed to refund us, but obviously that never happened.
Oh, that's shitty.
All caps. This is where it gets good.
Oh, God.
So my mom went total FBI and learned that in addition to not paying us, sister-in-law didn't put the money towards a different wedding expense either. All caps. She doesn't have it. So where did it go? What did she spend it on?
Oh my God.
There is currently a full-blown investigation going down between our two families right now. I have been asked by my mom.
With the husband too? Or the husband-to-be? Is he in on the investigation?
Just says investigation.
Okay.
I've been asked by my mom not to alert the bridesmaids just yet until we get the last bits of info and come to a resolution with both sister-in-law and her dad. But we will tell them ASAP, one way or another. I will come back tomorrow with another update. Wow, crazy. Update 3, which is the very next day. The plot thickens. So as this drama is all unfolding, the maid of honor, who doesn't know what's going on yet, is continuing her duties. We all get a 4-paragraph text from her outlining the dress code for each night of the bachelorette, per the bride's orders. Keep in mind, the bride is asking us all to go out and buy new outfits for each day of the trip. And the themes are wild. Animal print Thursday, faux fur Friday, sparkle dress Saturday, and Barbie brunch Sunday. As if we're all going to go out and buy that shit 1 week before the trip. Or at all. Thankfully, the bridesmaids seem to be waking up to the bullshit. Several of them wrote back saying they won't be able to pull together these outfits in time, and one flat out said it's just not going to happen. But that's just a side story to the absolute shit show that's unfolding. My mom is very involved now as she's paid a decent chunk of this wedding as well, and does not like that the bride is throwing around thousands of dollars from her dad as well as lying to her bridal party. She set up a meeting directly with sister-in-law to cut the bullshit and explain what's going on. She told sister-in-law she's going to inform the bridesmaids herself unless she gets a valid answer. At this point, I'm just shoveling down popcorn waiting for the events to unfold. I will be back tonight with hopefully the final update. Update 4, 1/29/2024. So coming 2 days later. All caps. A swan ice sculpture. She used the $7,000 to book a swan-shaped ice sculpture to be displayed at the reception and didn't tell anyone. Turns out her dad banned her from adding any more extras to the wedding design because it was already so expensive and unnecessary.
Wait. The $7,000 went towards a swan ice
sculpture.
Okay.
When he Venmo'd her for the Airbnb, she thought she was being sneaky and kept it instead. She didn't even tell my brother this. He only found out that her dad decided to cover the Airbnb because those two went out for cigars one night and it came up. So that mystery is solved thanks to my mini FBI crew. But now the real questions remain. Where the fuck is my $650 and how to break the news to the bridesmaids? Out of the kindness of her soul, my mom is giving sister-in-law 24 hours to confess to the bridesmaids and figure out how to pay us back our money. Because you know what? I did not spend $650 on some damn ice. I have kids to feed. I have bills to pay.
Yeah.
It is taking everything in me not to text the bridesmaids group right now, but my mom is trying to give sister-in-law one opportunity to do the right thing. This has been a roller coaster. Don't know if anyone here is still interested, but let me know if I should post the final outcome with the bridesmaids in one last update. Lord have mercy.
Oh my God. Imagine finding out that you paid $650 on an ice duck foot.
I would be iraged. I would take a blowtorch to that thing at the wedding. I'd be like, I would rather light my money on fire than pay for a damn ice sculpture.
Oh my God.
No.
Just piss on it.
That would be an idea.
I'm picturing a bridesmaid scene.
Oh my God. Pushing the cookie, pushing the ice sculpture. I'd be taking shots off that swan's ass. Like a shot luge. Have you seen those ice sculptures?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I've done those. They're sick.
I think that's like the only acceptable ice sculpture is a shot luge.
Luge? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll show you a picture of one that I've done before. It's really
I'm
cool.
Thinking about it now, though. I'm like, is that sanitary? Because I know alcohol kills germs, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd do one post-COVID now that I'm thinking about it. Have you done one post-COVID?
I don't know, actually, but I think that I would. Because whenever
I want to know if the alcohol
whenever I did it, we didn't put our mouth on it. You know, it
waterfalled.
Yeah, waterfalled.
I like that.
So that doesn't really freak me out.
I feel like I did it at a party with you. It was at like a Hollywood Hills house party somewhere.
Probably.
Sounds right. Back when we were young. Okay. What would you do? Would you be like, I want my money back? JG Wentworth 8775 now. I don't know that. You know,
I think that the way that it's playing out is
now.
playing out perfectly. So I would just let that happen and eat my popcorn, like OP said.
Okay. Update 5/2/5/2024. So it's coming 6 days later. Okay, as promised, here's the latest tea, served boiling hot. This is a long update, and I'm going to try and get everything in. First, let's start with the bride's explanation to her family, myself, my mom, my brother, her fiance, and her dad. She broke down crying, saying that the wedding planning has been getting to her head, and she has been crushed under the pressure to have the perfect wedding, which she felt couldn't go on without this alleged ice swan. I didn't buy her sob story. After this whole incident, I think she is a delusional, controlling, attention-starving bridezilla who's using the wedding as a way to compete with other girls on Instagram. By the way, her job is influencer, if I didn't mention that yet. My brother took the bait. To be honest, I don't blame him. This is his future wife, and he said he wants to help her with her mental health and get her back to a good place. He is disturbed by the situation, but will continue to support her. The wedding is on, for those who were curious. Next, let's get into the matter of the missing $7,000 and whether we're getting our money back. The sad, gut-wrenching answer? Probably not. Her dad said he'd already paid for the Airbnb cost once and he will not do it again. He said his daughter is 31 and needs to get herself out of her own mess and figure out how to make it right. She chimed in that the $7,000 is gone and asked how she would possibly pay us back. My brother refused to pay for her screw-up. While I love that everyone is finally forcing this B to be an adult, I would like my money back more. Unfortunately, we're not going to get it unless she magically wins the lottery or gets a real job. For those that asked, there is nothing we can do legally. We all willingly paid a fixed amount and we would have to move mountains and spend more money to sue.
No, it's not worth it.
Plus, while she was incredibly shady and a terrible friend, she technically didn't do anything wrong that we could prove.
Yeah, it's not stealing when you're actively giving the money. Like they were willing to spend that money, so it's not stealing. It's just really shitty of her.
Yeah. Now on to the bridesmaids. After some threats from my mom, sister-in-law finally broke down and contacted the bridesmaids in our group chat. She sent a text that made my skin crawl.
Oh, God.
Quote, "Hey, ladies, you're my bride squad, so I feel compelled to share that my dad recently offered to pay for our batch accommodations. However, being that the wedding is so expensive, I have decided to put his donation towards a wedding expense. I hope you all understand, and I can't wait to party with you all next week!" Exclamation point.
Dude, you read that so well.
Is anyone triggered? Oh my God. OP goes on to say, oh, hell no. I immediately replied back, making sure everyone knew the expense was an ice sculpture. An ice swan. Come on, people. Many of them replied and expressed how they would have loved to have used that $650 for something more important. But ultimately, no one has backed out. One of the girls started a side chat without the bride and asked if there's any chance of us getting our money back if we force sister-in-law to cancel the reservation. Unfortunately, since we're only a week out, we aren't eligible for a refund. They decided to go through with the bachelorette trip, or else it would be a literal waste of $650.
Yeah.
As for myself, I'm in the same boat. I would rather run myself over than go on this trip. But $650 is not a small amount, and I can't fathom just throwing it down the drain. I haven't made my final decision yet. If I do go, it will be solely to avoid eating the $650 plus my airfare. I will not be doing any of the planned events or outfits or contributing even one more dollar. I would have my own mini vacation as best as I can. I'm really upset that it seems like this crazy person is going to get her way after all.
I'm not surprised. I feel like I just...
No. Sadly, I'm not either.
No.
She sounds like so entitled. Would you go? Or would you be like, I know if I go, I am going to spend more money on food, whatever else I do. So it's like, even if you go, you're still going more in the hole.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it depends, because I think that if you have a good relationship with your brother and your brother still wants to marry this person, it would cause more of a thing to not go, or to go and then just like sit on your own the whole time. It would create like a really weird dynamic. And so I honestly think that I would go through with it, depending on her finances too. If she's like really struggling with finances, and if this and spending any more money on this trip is going to put her in a really bad place, and she's going to have a lot of anxiety, especially because she mentioned she has kids, then that's a different story. But if she like can afford to go through with this trip, I personally would, and then I would just distance myself, and then I would not agree to do any other thing with this person. You know, it's kind of like,
yeah,
you already were going to spend that money even though you didn't want to. So at that point, I'm like, I would just go through with it, not make it a big thing, and then just distance myself in the future.
Because that is like the added layer here. This is going to be your sister-in-law.
Yeah, exactly.
Still.
Yeah. If it was just a friend,
your friend,
you could just be like, you know what? Yeah.
Bye.
But this is someone who is going to have a relationship with your mom, with your brother, just with your family. So
it is a fine line that like this is going to be your family unless your brother comes to his senses, because this is crazy. $7,000 on an ice sculpture. That is a new car. That is like a lot of things. That's a horse. That's a purse. Like an ice sculpture, something that literally is going to melt. I don't get it.
I know. I agree.
Okay, mini update. Coming 2/10, 5 days later. There are many curious comments coming in, so I want to keep you in the loop. More drama has unfolded amongst the bridesmaids. The side text without the bride popped off, and we have all agreed to do the following. 1, we will be going on the trip, but it is no longer a bachelorette trip. We will all be taking personal vacations with our hubbies / significant others while staying at the property. We were forced into this beachfront mansion plus airfare, so we're going to make the most out of it. 2.
Wait, how do they each have their own rooms? How can they bring their husbands?
I mean, $2,500 a night? They better each have their own room. Can you imagine you pay that much money and you get a pull-out sofa in the couch where the sun comes up, blasts you right away at 6 a.m.?
I don't know. The Airbnbs can be really expensive, especially if it's like on a beachfront.
Clearly.
How many days is it?
4 outfit days.
Oh, yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's a lot of days.
That actually doesn't sound that much then to me. If it was 4 days, $200 each night of a stay. For your own room?
Yeah, but I'd rather have a hotel with amenities.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a hotel girly. Like Airbnbs, they're not my fave.
I like both depending on where the Airbnb is. I've been at really bad Airbnbs, but
Depends on the vibe, for sure.
I think the main shitty thing is that the dad literally was like, I don't want you to ask your bridesmaids to pay this amount. You picked an expensive place. Don't do that. Let me pay for it so you can pay them back so that they don't have to spend all this money on this.
Yeah.
That's what's so shitty about it, you know?
2, we've all backed out of hosting and paying for the bridal shower. The bride will need to find another way to move forward if she wants to have it. We will attend as guests if she has it, and we will not be gifting anything. Mother of the bride is absolutely furious.
At the bridesmaids or at her?
More on this later.
Oh.
We're letting the bride know she needs to cancel the ice swan and give us our money back. After some more research, we doubt all of the $7,000 went towards the alleged swan because it doesn't seem like they cost that much. I won't be back for a while because I want to save my next update for after the trip. Stay tuned. Final update. 2/17/2024. Warning, this is a long one. Before we get into this final update, enjoy an ad. Final update. Warning, this is a long one. The absolute tea I have today. It took me so long to write this because I am at a complete and utter loss for words. Where to begin? Let me start with this. There is no ice swan. There never was an ice swan.
Oh, God.
It was an elaborate fabrication designed to distract everyone from where the missing $7,000 actually went.
Where did it go?
R.I.P. Ice Swan. Turns out there was a reason behind sister-in-law's luxury bachelorette location. Here's what happened. All the bridesmaids showed up to the beachfront mansion with our significant others. Sister-in-law had already been made aware that it was no longer a bachelorette, but to our complete shock, she was still stunned that we actually meant it. She arrived last in her pre-booked limo, absolutely fuming that no one else showed up to the limo meeting spot at the airport. She was the only one still sticking to the original itinerary. Then she was flabbergasted that the husbands/significant others were with us. It was a comedy show at best.
Were all of, like, everyone's husbands or wow.
Sounds like it. Which is kind of lucky that everyone was seeing somebody.
Well, I was just thinking that maybe the guys would be like, I don't want to be involved in this.
No drama for me.
Yeah.
Hey, trip is a trip. Anyways, we went about our individual mini vacations, and eventually someone realized it had been about 48 hours since anyone had seen sister-in-law. I assumed she was mad and either flew home or went to stay somewhere else. Then the unthinkable unfolds. Sister-in-law rolls up in the driveway in a wheelchair, being pushed by 2 female nurses. The entire group jumped into action, thinking something horrible happened. Everyone ran over to see what was going on, but the nurses ushered us away and wheeled sister-in-law into her room. At this point, I'm actually very concerned. We're all banging on her door, asking if she's okay. The nurses eventually leave and say they legally can't reveal the nature of her health issue, but assure us she's fine. I call my brother and mom, but get no answer. So I finally decide to call her mom, aka the mother of the bride, who was furious that we took over the bachelorette party. Mother of the bride reveals what actually took place. She isn't sick. She didn't have a health issue. There was no accident. She got her boobs done.
Wow. That's what she did with the money. No way.
Oh, man.
How is she planning to stick to the plan if she did that in the beginning of the was this towards the end? Or was this in the beginning? Maybe she just sped it up because everyone else was doing their own thing. She planned to do it at the very end. I'm confused. Oh my God. Okay.
Yes, folks, you read that correctly. She had planned, as part of the original itinerary, to disappear for an afternoon and returned with a new set of melons. ... I'm sorry. What?
But the money was gone. I'm so sorry. I can't return it to you guys. Money is gone.
The location of the beachfront mansion is conveniently 5 minutes away from a very famous cosmetic surgeon's office. The reason she needed this giant-ass property was not really to host 11 girls. It was to host 11 girls plus the surgery recovery nurses and personal chef that she had reserved for after the operation. There is so much more that we need to unpack. I honestly don't know where to begin. What was her mother's involvement in all of this? What was the cost of the procedure? Guessing around $7,000. And why was it meant to be a part of the bachelorette trip? What was the purpose of the ice swan lie? What the fuck? Will the bridesmaids, myself included, pursue legal action? Where does this leave my brother? Is this lady okay mentally? Was this a horribly misplaced cry for attention? Was it an FU to the bridesmaids somehow? So many questions remain. I am only a few hours back from this trip, so this is all the information I have right now. I was intending for this to be my final update, and I just want to say thank you all for the support, advice, bags of popcorn, and funny input. This has been a wild ride, and I'm glad I could share with you. So far, we have had this crazy ordeal picked up by news publications, podcasts, and a magazine, and I literally want to write a book about this experience. I've already revealed a great deal of info, so to protect my brother's privacy moving forward, I think I will need to step away from the updates.
Oh, but didn't you say you have one?
She's emailing me.
No way.
Yeah, so we'll get an update that is not posted. However,
does she know that you're saying on the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very transparent when I reach out to people.
I know, but I'm just thinking if she didn't want her brother to have any more association and she doesn't want to update on Reddit.
Yeah.
But she changed her mind?
We'll get there. I asked her to come on.
Yeah.
I said, please come on.
Where does she live?
No idea.
Okay.
I just said like, hey, I'd love to read your story. Is that okay? I'd also love to have you join via Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
But as you'll see, it's not possible.
It's not possible? Wait, why?
You'll see. Not an update. Hey friends, I'm getting boatloads of requests for an update, so I've decided to make you all a deal. I will come back with an update after the wedding in May. As of right now, it is still on. That's all I can say for now. Check back in May. That was on 2/28. Okay? 3/29, March 29th, a couple days ago, a month later. Hi friends, thanks for being so patient for my update. I wanted to let everyone know I have the update of all updates coming for you. It turns out the drama just won't quit with this wedding. It is so juicy that, for legal reasons, I cannot share it just yet, but will be able to post in a day or so. Update. 3/30/2024. The wedding is off. Yeah, baby.
Oh, shit.
All right, y'all. Get your comfy socks and your popcorn because I've been holding on to this update for so long and I have to get it all out there. I feel like at this point, we've all become good friends. Literally, when I do these updates, I like to imagine we're all together eating snacks and gossiping. I'm on my desktop right now, so you know I mean business. Anyways, let me start with this. The wedding is officially off. I know a lot of you out there were team #cancel the wedding, so this should warm your soul. For me personally, I wanted it to work out for my brother, despite her insanity. I was kind of hoping this would somehow all blow over like a bad dream and he could find normalcy again. Unfortunately, this is not the case. Here's what happened. When I last updated you, sister-in-law had pulled up to the bachelorette with a new set of melons and shocked us all. We were all left wondering, what the fuck? And I told you I needed to stop the updates to protect my brother's privacy.
I'd be so pissed if she said, I'm so sorry, you guys, I can't pay you back. You know,
I bought new tits.
When people are like, is there any way that you can pay us back? And she's like, no, I'm sorry.
It's right here, baby.
I can't. And then, but the fact that she said, no, I'm sorry, like the money is completely gone. And then she gets it. I mean, unless she prepaid, but.
Also, I feel like a breast augmentation is more than $7,000.
Well, which country were they in?
That is true.
Yeah.
Medical tourism is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that has all changed now, and I have been given permission by my brother to spill the fucking tea. My brother was aware that sister-in-law had planned on getting a breast augmentation at some point this year. He actually knew it would be during the bachelorette trip. Despite thinking it was very weird, he wanted to support her. So he kept her surprise a secret. What he did not know was that she may have used the bridesmaids' money or even her dad's to finance it. But it turns out that she did not, in fact, use our money or her dad's money to pay for the new titties.
She says.
That's because her procedure was on the house. Why, you ask?
She hooked up with the guy?
Because she has been having an affair with the surgeon for over a year.
Stop. What?
A year!
Oh. See, this is why when these weird lies happen, you gotta actually stop and look into it. Because when somebody starts lying about little things, you gotta start to wonder what else they're lying about. And here's an example.
Yep.
Because out of all of this, the theme for me the entire time was the reason that I was not a fan of the sister-in-law is because of the amount of how okay she was with lying. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what gets me.
It was just one thing after another.
Yeah. If she asked everybody, hey, I know this is expensive, but I really want to go here. If you guys don't want to come, I understand we can do something when I'm in town, but like, let me know if you're interested because I would love to do this. It'll cost this much per person. And then she would be like, hey, you guys, my dad found out that I asked you guys for this much money and he wanted me to pay you guys back. And so, you know what I mean? All of that is just like, that's integrity.
It's just all the ulterior motives.
Yeah. And it's all these like little lies the entire time. And the twist of making like light of everything. And then now we're here. Now she was having a goddamn affair for a year with a fucking plastic surgeon who just did her boobs. Yeah. That's why I don't like.
Do doctors?
No, that's not what I was going to say. That's why I don't like when people have little lies.
Because it's not just a little lie. It's like, if you're comfortable with little lies, and there's differences, right?
Of course.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, oh no, that was my last piece of gum. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's
there's not every lie I think is an offense.
Or like accidental lies where you're like, oh yeah, I went there last week, but it was actually like 2 months ago. Like whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. But it was like, this was so pre-planned. Like the affair aside, you knew you were really wanting to go there for your surgery the whole time. Bachelorette trips are not plastic surgery vacations.
No, that's so odd.
So you took advantage of your friends and had them fund your plastic surgery recovery spot.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't call them little lies. But they were lies that she was able to try to twist to make light of.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be a surprise for you guys. That's what she was.
I don't care about your new boobs.
Right. But in her mind, she wasn't lying. She was trying to, or I don't know if this was in her mind or not, but that's how she was trying to spin it, is that she was trying to make it be this whole fun, oh my God, the bachelorette got boobies, And so that's how she was trying to spin it.
Can't you hear it?
Yeah.
Hey girls.
Hey ladies.
New tatas for the bride-to-be.
Who wants to take a shot off them?
Oh my God. As the drains are still in them.
Oh my God. Alcohol sterilized my stitches.
That's the thing. Like, it's not like you have to recover. Like, people that I have known that have gotten breast surgeries, like, it's not like you're up bopping around the next day. You have drains. Like, you're supposed to relax.
Yeah.
OP goes on to say, yes, you read that correctly. She has been diddling her married plastic surgeon for more than 14 months.
Wow.
He is a, all caps, very well-known plastic surgeon. And his legal team has been on me like white on rice. There are limits to what I can disclose, At this current moment, I have been advised not to disclose the state he practices in, his name, or any personally identifying details.
Why?
You can get sued.
Why?
Defamation. You can sue for anything. What's going to actually stick? I don't know, but tough. Back to the story.
But if she doesn't say his name, she's just saying a state. I just don't understand.
Back to the story. He wanted to fly her out for a complimentary titty upgrade. We found out because his wife found her sad little influencer IG page, tracked her down, and showed up to the family home, which would be her father's house because she still lives there. There is so much more to say.
She is a fucking tornado.
That I think I'm going to have to split it into 2 updates because my fingers are legit going numb. I really wanted to get that off my chest. I know you might be wanting to know the specifics, like, so where did all the money go after all? How did the wife find out and what happened when she showed up? That's an update in itself. How is my brother handling this? Besides, of course, leaving her dusty ass. What did sister-in-law have to say for herself? I promise I will be back to finish this horror story.
Wow. And that's it?
And that's where we're at.
Wow. That is
until she emails me the next update tomorrow.
I just was locked into another world. Like, that was true storytelling. Just, I mean, yeah, great job to the writer. Great job to your reading. Like,
she crushed.
She crushed. Fantastic.
I think this will be a continuous series. So be sure, if you want the tea, Juliet, Juliet, Pepper Wood on IG. I believe she's on TikTok now as well. So, but she got banned from Reddit. Reddit banned her ass.
Why?
She's been posting about it. There's a lot on.
Wait, did you say OP got?
Yeah, OP is like banned from Reddit.
Whoa.
Yeah, now I'm kind of scared. Like, what if they come after me for reading this story? I don't know. But
both of our faces.
My job is on the line. But OP did post something on Instagram that said, hey, like, any mentions of a specific surgeon's name will be deleted. You know, I can't talk about it. And
Wait, he's well known for all of us or just people in the state?
So the reason I think she can't say what state or anything he's in, if you think about very well-known plastic surgeons, especially those that utilize social media, there's one name that really comes to mind for me.
Oh. I wish I could creep on sister-in-law's IG.
She's an influencer.
That's what I'm saying. I want to find her.
I know there's some FBI people out there, but again, I do not want to get OP in trouble because I really do want to protect OP in this. Like, she's being so kind to like share the update with us before, you know, releasing it on her own pages.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think you can speculate, especially given the fact that I can't name the city. I can't name blah, 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 blah.
Oh my gosh.
So I think
Didn't she say that there's been multiple podcasts that have went over this story? So,
yeah.
So it's like, it's out there though.
It's out there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if other people are speculating, but just because she did post on her IG, hey, any comments with names guessing are getting deleted. It's kind
that was on her own IG?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant her Reddit account. Wait, I want to look at her IG.
Yeah, Juliet Pepperwood.
Oh, yes.
I'll make sure it's linked on our Instagram as well. So it's really easy to just like find from the 2 Hot Takes page. But yeah, it is really wild. And I'm really excited to read the last update for you guys. But that is it for Lauren. We're done for the night.
Wait, I was trying to look up Juliet Pepperwood. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Juliet.
I'm not finding it. Did you find it?
Yeah, I'll link it. I'll link it for everyone. If you're having a hard time finding it, other people might too. So it'll be linked on the 2 Hot Takes Instagram.
Is it with the spicy?
Yes.
Oh, I found it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, where is she though?
No pictures of her. She's being very private, using voice filters, which I would too. I mean, this is like, you don't want to be identified.
Yeah,
if he's got a lawyer on this.
If he's coming after her like that, yeah.
Like, there's no defining details here, but yet, like, there's lawyers involved to where like this is now becoming like threatening.
Yeah.
So they mean business. But also, don't cheat on your wife. And then give the girl a free boob job.
Don't do that. Bad idea.
Come on, doctor. Come on.
Don't get super. Never mind.
Don't get super big tits for free.
That's not what I was gonna say. If you can do that without being really shady and awful to everyone else around you, then go for it.
Yeah.
But not this way. We wouldn't recommend.
No.
Definitely not.
No. Okay, well, vanish. Bye, Lauren.
Bye.
And bam, here we go with the last update. Okay, friends, as promised, here is that last update that OP emailed me. Obviously, Lauren's not here, so it's just me reading. It's going to feel so strange. So, Juliet Pepperwood says, Update 7, the missing 7K. All right, friends, if you're still here with me on this wild ride, it's time to spill some of the final tea in this crazy kettle. I want to start with the details of sister-in-law's illicit affair with the plastic surgeon. Much of the detail was provided to me by my brother. When he ended the engagement, he asked sister-in-law to give him the whole truth. After all, it's the least she could do. She fessed up, and my brother has given me permission to share. Here's what happened. The wife learned about the affair thanks to a pair of Tiffany diamond earrings, which apparently went missing from her jewelry collection. At some point, she goes down to the hospital to bring her husband lunch and sees a female patient wearing the exact pair of earrings she's lost. And you guessed it, that patient was our beloved bride. Now, I don't know the timeline on when she noticed these earrings went missing, but I do know that she saw my sister-in-law wearing the earrings at the hospital while getting a consultation for her free melon job. This would have been long before the bachelorette trip, most likely on one of their earlier visits, while sister-in-law was flying out of town to see him. The wife at some point brings this up to her husband, the surgeon, who probably plays it off as a coincidence. In her confession to my brother, sister-in-law admitted to stealing the wife's earrings during one of their visits. The surgeon demanded them back after realizing the wife spotted sister-in-law wearing them that day. Problem is, sister-in-law doesn't have the earrings anymore. She claims she lost them. She asked the surgeon how much the earrings cost and swore she would make amends by sending him the money. He reveals they are from Tiffany's and cost about $7,500. And there you have it. The mystery of the 7K is solved. When sister-in-law's father offered to cover the cost of the Airbnb, she probably saw a golden opportunity to snag almost the full amount of money she needed to cover the earrings. She did admit to my brother that she sent her dad's money to the surgeon after he paid for the Airbnb. And to be honest, I don't know who's crazier, sister-in-law for stealing the earrings or the surgeon for continuing to have an affair with someone who literally stole from his wife. Anyways, back to the story. So I'll never know if the surgeon gifted his wife a pair of new diamond sparkles or not, but I do know that she didn't let her suspicion go. I don't know for sure if the earrings were the giveaway or if she found out later. She ended up getting sister-in-law's name somehow and looking her up on social media. How she ended up at the family home, I'll probably never know, but I'm sure anyone with a name and a mission can find an address online. I'm not at liberty to share the details of the confrontation between sister-in-law and the wife. This update ends here, but I'll be back with at least one more for you soon. I don't know about you guys, but this girl is giving very delusional. Also, like, the earrings must have felt like such a trophy for her to go to your affair partner's house and steal something from the wife. That must have like been such like a power move trophy for her. This girl is giving very unhinged, and I'm actually shocked the surgeon kept dating her too. But for the wife to see her in the waiting room or wherever she was, nuts. The timing, the universe trying to send the wife a message, all of this happening. Batshit crazy. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here, but really glad the brother got out. Hope OP doesn't get sued. Let's be sure to keep the comments clean about who we think the surgeon is. Don't mention the name. That's all I'm going to say. I think any further updates we do will be over on our Patreon. So head over there. There's also more juicy stuff. But here I go, patching this in with Lauren's exit. Okay, well, what did you think of my theme today?
This was a really fun episode. Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, baby! We will be doing a Patreon story from this theme because there's so many good ones. And I'm recording an episode with Spencer tomorrow, and some of them fit that theme too. So we're going to keep on rolling with some really good, crazy stories in these next couple episodes. So
is this one coming out this week?
Next week, yeah.
Wait, like
while we're in Nashville.
Oh.
Today's Thursday today.
Oh, God. Wait. No, that's when I'm going to be at the Cabo wedding. Oh, no. Oh, God. Please don't ruin a vacation for me in the comments. Oh, I just get anxious. Okay. Well, this was really fun.
Yay. We're off to Patreon. Thank you guys for being here. If you want another juicy one, head on over there. But other than that, still on tour. Couple shows left. We have Chris Clemens joining us for Chicago, Philly, and New York. The second show in Chicago, as of today, has some tickets left. But other than that,
I'm working on thickening my skin.
There we go. Me as well. I only cry 2 times a week. Down from 5.
I hope everyone else is too, and I hope it's helping. But other than that, we love you guys.
Love you. Thank you for supporting this show, being here, being on Patreon, buying merch. I'm wearing a little preview. But other than that, until next time.
Until next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.